Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, Mr. Chairman, members of this distinguished committee. My name is Edgar Friendly, and I came here to say that I do not recognize anyone's right to 1 minute of my life, nor to any part of my energy, nor to any achievement of mine, no matter who makes the claim. It had to be said, the world is perishing in an orgy of self-sacrificing. I came here to be heard in the name of every man of independence left in the world. I wanted to state my terms.
Step up to the microphone so you can turn down the levels and it'll stop the feedback.
Okay. Is that all right? I'm sorry. I wanted to state my terms. I do not care to work or live by any others. Now, I've looked through this budget, and after reviewing the numbers, I realized that at the bottom of all our terrified souls, we know that democracy is a dying giant. It's a sick, dying, decaying political concept writhing in its final pain. Now, I don't mean that the United States is finished as a world power. The United States is the richest, the most powerful, the most advanced country in the world, light years ahead of any other country. And I don't mean that the terrorists are going to take over the world because the terrorists are deader than we are. I'm sorry, I'm getting to that. What is finished because of this budget is the idea that this great country is dedicated to the freedom and flourishing of every individual in it. It's the individual that's finished. It's the single, solitary human being that's finished. It's every one of us out there that's finished, because this is no longer a country of independent individuals. It's a country of some 200-odd million transistorized, deodorized, lighter than white, steel-belted bodies, totally unnecessary as human beings and as replaceable as piston rods. How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, after reading the budget, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? War, terror, disease. There were a myriad of problems that conspired to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. That's right. You see, according to HB1, I'm the enemy. Because I like to read, I like to think. I'm into freedom of speech, freedom of choice. I'm the kind of guy who would sit in a greasy spoon and wonder, gee, should I have the T-bone steak or the jumbo rack of barbecue ribs with a side order of gravy fries? I want high cholesterol. I want to eat bacon and butter and buckets of cheese, okay? I want to smoke a Cuban cigar the size of Cincinnati in a non-smoking section. Okay, please just let me. I believe. Look, I've seen the future. You know what it is? It's a 47-year-old virgin sitting around in his beige pajamas drinking a banana broccoli shake and singing "I'm an Oscar Mayer wiener." That's freedom. That's what we should be striving for. And this budget does no such thing. Thank you for your time.
In the beginning, when land was not property,
apples.
I have corn. We like to trade.
No, these apples are all I need.
But in other places, their ideas were different.
Apples here! 5 shillings apiece!
Why, I'm famished.
Hello, governor! That'll be 5 shillings!
When the stranger realized how much money there was to be made, he went elsewhere to do the same.
Oh, I found it.
We've been here for months! We're tired and looking for food!
I'm hungry.
Oh, strangers.
Well, here's some food for you.
Good God Almighty, this fool just gave me food for free.
Let's go get some apples from the tree.
Can we have some apples?
No, they're 5 shillings apiece.
Well, they belong to no one, so I'll go get them. Yay! Apples!
Those are mine.
Ah! Ah!
Son? No!
It's all mine. It's all mine from east to west and from north to south.
200 years later.
That'll be $53.
This used to be free. Look what had happened to us.
Food crisis America. Some dining in opulence and affluence while the rest of the world starves.
We want food.
We want food.
We want food.
We want food!
Food.
Comida!
Huevos rancheros.
Comida!
We want food.
We want food! 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 Gratis! Comida! Por favor!
Huevos rancheros.
Comida!
We want food.
No money, no food. It's all mine.
My, how times have changed.
Strain is actually called Blueberry Train Wreck.
As a consultant prepared our marijuana smoking lab, 3 volunteers each took a practice run on a course set up by the Thurston County Sheriff's Office, designed to test their basic driving skills. In the car with them is Cascade Driving School instructor Mike Jackson, who has a brake on his side of the vehicle for safety.
I can either grab the wheel or I can touch the brake and bring him to a safe stop.
Our first volunteer, Addie, is a 27-year-old medical marijuana patient and heavy daily user who had smoked some pot prior to arriving. A blood test before our experiment began showed she came to the track already 3 times the new legal limit for driving under the influence of marijuana. The limit is 5 nanograms. She was at nearly 16 nanograms. While learning the course, Addie turned too sharp at a stop sign and clipped one of our cameras. But the instructor told us her driving was actually fine. Our second volunteer is 34-year-old Dylan, who uses pot on weekends. An initial test showed no marijuana in his system. Finally, we have 56-year-old Jeff, who uses only occasionally. He also started out with no detectable pot in his body.
All right.
Next, we had the volunteers start smoking marijuana. We gave them each 0.3 of a gram of pot to smoke, and from the light to the heavy user, asked them how they felt.
Feeling really buzzed. Yeah. Relaxed and buzzed.
I still feel normal.
Back behind the wheel for another lap, Addie drove a bit slower than she should, and at one point struck a traffic cone.
Oh, I hit a cone. I see it in the rearview mirror. Ah!
A blood test would later show Addie was driving at 7 times the legal limit for pot with 36.7 nanograms of marijuana in her system, but still driving okay.
I wouldn't pull her off the road, no. No, not yet. Not this point.
After 0.3 of a gram of pot, Dylan was doing fine behind the wheel.
Ooh, that was fun.
Even though our lab tests would later reveal he was driving at 5 times the legal limit with 26 nanograms of pot in his system. When we got Jeff on the track, he was being cautious and driving slower than he should, which could catch the eye of a police officer on the road. His blood test showed Jeff was 4 times the legal limit with nearly 22 nanograms in his system. But again, his driving, while slow, was still at acceptable levels.
He did real well.
We had our volunteers smoke and drive 2 more times until they had all smoked 0.9 of a gram of pot, and they were feeling it.
I'm starting to get it. Oh, yeah. I can feel it in my eyes. I can feel it in my body, in my head.
I don't know if I can get, much more stoned, even if I keep smoking it.
And it started to show more on the road. With a drug recognition expert from the Thurston County Sheriff's Office watching, Dylan started having trouble remembering how to drive the course.
Oh, what is this cone in the middle?
Confused, he turned early and left the track.
You missed
Oh,
shoot. Left. Let's do it again. I'll give you a second chance.
Okay.
Then, while going through a 20-mile-an-hour corner, the instructor had to grab the wheel to stop Dylan from swinging wide and hitting our photographer.
Watch yourself, watch yourself.
I had to grab the wheel to keep him basically from running you over.
If I were to be watching him on a road, I would have stopped him.
Jeff's driving also got worse the more he smoked.
His backing is very slow.
We watched him back over a cone, and after 0.9 of a gram of pot, he drove so slowly the officer told us he should not be on the road. Jeff agreed.
You don't think you should be behind the wheel right now?
Well, I would prefer not to, yeah.
After 0.9 of a gram, Addie was becoming much more aggressive, excited about being high and behind the wheel.
One time in your life you get to do this, you should do it. Yeah. You should do it! Yeah. It's awesome.
But she made no major mistakes, and we asked the officer if he would pull her over.
Borderline.
We decided to allow Addie to smoke one last time, bringing her total smoked to 1.4 grams. Back in the car, Addie knew she was having trouble.
Way more stoned. Way more stoned. Definitely shouldn't be driving.
And she drove with no restraint.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Less than 30 seconds into the drive, she started backing up and didn't stop until she wiped out a cone.
Which would have been indicative of backing into a pole or maybe a citizen on a sidewalk.
The sheriff's officer, driving instructor, and even Addie agreed she would not be safe if she was on a public road.
She would be a danger, yeah.
Yeah, definitely that's dangerous.
To confirm the volunteers were driving impaired, we treated them like anyone else pulled over and suspected of drug use. The county's drug recognition expert put them through a 12-step evaluation, checking things like their balance. Heart rate and blood pressure were also checked. They all had issues, including Jeff, who couldn't find his nose with his fingertip.
I would say that all three would have been arrested for driving under the influence.
It is Sunday in mid-May, and we're here at Central Square with Rich Paul and some other activists. And there's chalkings going on here today, and apparently there were chalkings going on yesterday as well. Rich, what happened yesterday?
Well, we came out, and there have been people coming out and destroying my friend Mariah's artwork on a daily basis.
I hope you're having a good day.
I have no idea how to work this thing. Thank you.
Why would you do that? Oh my God!
Whoa! I got electronics here, man.
Sorry, man. Didn't see you. What the hell are you doing?
So this guy just dumped water on me.
You just assaulted somebody, sir. Do you know you just committed a criminal act? Basically, I mean, she's been coming out and doing some beautiful artwork, and basically the only reason they don't like it is because she's associated with us at Free Keene. So we came out yesterday and we were covering the square in smiley faces, and various Stop Free Keeners came out and basically destroyed what we were working on, and we got the footage of it. So we're out here again today chalking on the sidewalk and, you know, trying to get the ideas that are important to us across. And, you know, we're doing things a little bit differently today. Like, there's a lot more non-conformists. Like, this is kind of an evil face. And over there, there's an alien. Over here, there's a monument to the unnecessary rule that, or at least that's my interpretation. I'm not the artist. But
So, Rich, what do you think about the people who came out here to remove the smiley faces yesterday? What kind of person would do that?
Well, I mean, I would, if they were a child, I would try to redirect them to a productive activity. And so maybe I'd give them some chalk and let them, you know, chalk out their competing ideas, you know, and I would be perfectly happy to publicize their work right along with mine.
How come you get First Amendment speech and I don't? You want chalk? We have chalk for you. This is here. Use it. Use the chalk.
I am. That's what I did. I didn't like all the smiley faces, so I put in a...
Okay, please use chalk.
A frowning guy.
Chalk, please use it.
I use it at home, thank God.
Do you want to just be an eraser of other people's ideas? Everyone has a right of freedom of speech. It's constitutionally recognized.
Mine, aren't I? I'm exercising mine.
You're an agent of deletion. You're someone who doesn't believe others should express themselves, and instead you'd rather
express yourself all you want.
This is the modern equivalent of book burning.
You can express yourself till the cows come home.
Smiley faces.
You love the smiley.
Well, Ray Bradbury would be very proud of you.
Yes, yes. Chain up the smileys. Herd them in the cat.
Because I like competing ideas. I like people coming up and telling me that I'm wrong, but
they just
erasing the message doesn't seem really. I mean, if you take it as performance art, I guess it's telling me that I'm wrong, but it's not offering anything positive in the place of my apparently ill-formed ideas.
You represent the old way, and that's cool. I mean, you manifest it. But is that really what you want to represent? Is that what you want to continue to be? Is an agent of the old, an agent of destruction? I mean, I don't know if you heard, but the people are occupying. They're not dividing.
Rather than expressing yourself with brute force, you can express your ideas. Oppose our ideas with yours. I always have an open mind.
It's because you don't have ideas. You reveal yourself. You reveal your true colors. You just want to destroy others that you don't understand. You want to preserve the status quo that you know and are comfortable with, that you've grown up with. I understand you guys are fond of that sort of thing, but there's room for all of us to exist.
If they don't agree with smiley faces, what do they agree with?
Yes, and they killed the frowny faces along with the smiley faces. I watched them because I wanted to see if it was only smiley faces they disliked, but they killed the little dead one, or well, they killed the dead ones, and they killed the stoned ones, and they killed the frowny ones, and the ones that weren't quite human.
It's a great day for chalking.
Great day for everything.
Can you believe there were people out here yesterday erasing smiley faces? Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah. People actually came out here and they scrubbed the whole place.
We few, we happy few, we band of brothers, for he today who sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he ne'er so vile. This day shall gentle his condition, and gentlemen in England, now abed, will think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhood cheap when any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day.
Wow.
What's wrong with you?
We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
Okay.
We shall overcome someday.
We'd like to invite
Just because people...
So you're living in a world there.
Well, just because people don't agree with what we're doing doesn't mean that they can't be happy and we can't be happy and we all can't just coexist in the same community. I mean,
But you're not trying to do that.
I'm done with my job.
Well, I'm
You don't
enjoying
try to
my
get along
life.
with people.
Who don't I try to
You
get
have no
along
respect for
with?
people.
Who don't I have
Always
respect for?
stay young. I was getting old.
Who have I disrespected? Who have I ever not shown
This is
yet?
disrespectful.
Of who?
What you did in front of Pat stuff, disrespectful.
To who?
And you have to respect
People
people
in
who don't
Keene,
want to do
in the
that.
downtown merchants.
Members of this distinguished committee, you and I both know how important this budget is because I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. Dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do. And there's no end to it. I mean, there is no justice. The rich win, the poor are powerless. We become tired of hearing people lie. And after a time, we become dead. We think of ourselves as victims, and we become victims. We become weak. We doubt ourselves. We doubt our beliefs. We doubt our institutions, and we doubt the law. Now, I may be an atheist, but that does not mean I do not go to church. I do go to church. The church I go to is the one that emancipated the slaves and gave women the right to vote. It gave us every freedom that we hold dear. My church is this very chapel democracy we sit in together. And today you are the stewards of this church. Today you are the law. You are the law. Not some book, not the lawyers, not a marble statue, or the trappings of the court. You see, those are just symbols of our desire to be just. They are in fact a prayer, a fervent and frightened prayer. In my religion, they say, act as if you had faith, faith will be given to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this budget is a test. Moments such as these are matters of faith. To fail is to invite doubt in everything we believe, everything we have fought for. Doubt will plunge this country back into chaos, and I will not let that happen.
What we need right now is a clear message to the people of New Hampshire. This message must be read in every newspaper, heard on every radio, seen on every television. This message must resound throughout the entire interlink. I want this state to realize that we stand on the edge of oblivion. I want every man, woman, and child to understand how close we are to chaos. I want everyone to remember why they need us. This budget. I want more than arrests. I want results. Until all that occurs, the law's coming. You tell them I'm coming. And hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me. Thank you.
Okay, so are you rolling?
Yep.
Okay, well why don't I filed 3 motions today while I was attending Ian Freeman's trial for his traffic violation in Concord, New Hampshire. The first one I filed is for wearing sunglasses because I wrote, as a free individual, I wear these eyeglasses for protective purposes for my vision, and I will have them on during the trial, but I don't think that it'll interfere. And the judge, Boyle, signed that was granted. The second motion I filed was for not standing for the judge, and for that I said it was a religious objection. I don't claim any religion, but I think as a free person, I don't have to stand for any man. That was also granted. Now last, I crossed out motion and wrote notice for recording. That's because I believe as part of the free press, I will record as a free person under their First Amendment. And I was clear to write under your First Amendment. That's what I believe gives me the authority to record a public trial. And that was also granted. I gave copies to the Concord City Prosecutor of all of these motions that I filed today. Filed them at about 8:30 when we got here, and they were all granted. I had some trouble with the bailiff because he wanted to make sure that the judge was okay with me having my sunglasses on before I was allowed to enter the courtroom with wearing them. But yes, it was okay. And I was able to wear them the whole time with no troubles. And smoke an e-cigarette. I was thinking I might need a motion for that, but I didn't, so that was great.
Did the bailiffs, or did they advise you that you would need motions for sunglasses and motions for not standing, or did you inquire?
No, I didn't ask what motions I needed to file. I just thought it would be a good idea to file some motions today.
It's brilliant, actually. It's a brilliant idea. I don't know why nobody's ever really thought of that before, but it's pretty good.
All right. Yeah, it was a pleasure just trying new things out.